Remember as a kid waking up early on Saturdays without a care in the world, school was done for the week, and all you wanted to do was watch some Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, in this series, both House of Champs and myself are bringing back one of our favorite childhood pastimes. Each episode will be picking new decks to bring to the table in a best 2 out of 3 for some good old wholesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Fun. Saturday morning Yu-Gi-Oh! Is back, ladies and gentlemen, because this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sealed Saturdays. If you want 5% off any singles or sealed product, click the affiliate links in the description and use code CIMOOOoooo5. And clicking the TCG Player affiliate link before you shop helps support us to provide you with more amazing content. Damn, doesn't this deck just take you guys back? For those of you who didn't know, this was actually one of the first decks I ever built as I got into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! The first, real structured, somewhat competitive deck. Obviously, we're just using 3 of the Warrior structure deck here, but Warrior Toolbox was actually the first deck I ever played. So there's a lot of sentimental memories here, and I'm really happy to play this episode. This is going to be a fun one. So we're going to go ahead and do the card by card. Remember, we had 3 of the Warrior structure decks to use. We're abiding by the April or September ban list. I forget which one, but it's some point around there where a lot of the key cards are limited, like Heavy Storm, Lightning Vortex, MST, and the like. So let's go ahead and do the card by card. First up, 3 copies of Command Knight. This card was so cool. This came in a tin, I believe, as like a secret rare. Such a neat card. All warriors gain 400 attack, and if you control another monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot target this card for attacks. Not to mention, this is also a 1900 defender, which does stand up to John's Gemini Elves and Skilled Dark Magicians quite well. I like this specifically, not only because of that, but the buff that it gives to our other warriors means we're going to be able to win in combat more easily. That way, our Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke's, our Gearfrieds, our Dark Blades are going to be 2200 instead of 18, and they can get over those 1900 bodies and 2k defenders. We have a DD Warrior Lady and an Exiled Force, both for respective removal. 1 Gearfried, so I have some more Gearfrieds in the side deck. I do get the boost from Command Knight and the like, but the problem is you can't equip cards to Gearfried, which kind of sucks. And I think cards like Fusion Sword Murasame Blade as well as Divine Sword Phoenix Blade are actually pretty good in this matchup. And so for that reason, I did scale down Gearfried a little bit. We'll see if I need more beaters. So I figured I would put this in here. I have a Goblin Attack Force as well. You're going to notice I'm playing a few 1-ofs. And the reason for that is A, they're limited in the case of these 2. But B, I only feel like I need 1 Goblin Attack Force just to clear a large threat. And with 2 copies of Reinforcement of the Army, we can basically tutor any warrior that we want. That's where the name Warrior Toolbox originated. And so moving on from there, we have 2 Mystic Swords in level 2 and a level 4. This is good because John has several set monsters that I want to take care of, maybe like a 2k defender, like a Royal Magical Library, or something like Apprentice Magician that I just don't want triggering. That card's going to come in clutch for that. And Mystic Swords in level 4 is slightly better, but we do have to set it or level 2 into it for that to happen. It's a bit of a win more card, but I want to give it a shot at least for 1 game. And then we have 3 Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. This is good because you can actually take out face-up defender. So if John's sitting on a Royal Magical Library, this can clear it pretty easily. 3 Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. This card doesn't seem that good. It is a recruiter for warriors, Earth Warriors specifically. So our only real targets are Mystic Swords in level 2 or Exiled Force, or I suppose another copy of herself. The nice thing about her, though, is that not only does she keep a body on the field, but being able to float into Exiled Force and not having to waste a normal summon seems pretty good. So I figure having more access to Exiled Force is the main reason to play this. 3 Dark Blade. Again, I'm playing Dark Blade over Gearfried because we can actually equip stuff to Dark Blade, so that's slightly better for that reason. That does it for the monsters. For the spells, only 1 Phoenix Blade. I feel like Murasame Blade's better because it gives 800 attack, but I like the Phoenix Blade because we can banish warriors to get it back. We don't really need a lot of the warriors in our graveyard aside from for the use of warrior returning alive, and so I like having this just as a way to win some combat, and the fact that we can recur it is pretty nice. It's always going to be a +1 because of that. Murasame Blade just gives 800 attack, and it can't be destroyed while it's equipped to a monster, so that does actually, I think, play around a couple cards John may have access to. It's a bit difficult for him to deal with an established monster, and so I figure having this is actually pretty decent. 3 Trune to clear all these shenanigans his deck may have in store for us. A Heavy Storm, Lightning Vortex, and Mystical Space Typhoon, as well as Snatch Steal for the 1-ofs that are limited at this point. 2 Reinforcement of the Army. Wish it was 3, but the fact we have 2 is still still pretty nice. 3 copies of Swords of Concealing Light. This isn't technically removal, but it does flip stuff face down, and our bigger monster should be able to get over them then. It also buys us time, if anything else. And 1 copy of Warrior Returning Alive. I don't like stocking up on multiple of this card, but it usually should do the trick to maybe get back Exiled Force or a card that we may need. It's like the reinforcement of the army, but for the graveyard. And then for traps, 3 Blast with Chain. This will help us win combat. And then we have 1 Call of the Haunted, rounding out the 40. In the side, we've got 2 copies of Gear Freed in case we need more bodies that don't switch to defense, like the next 2 copies of Goblin Attack Force. This is if I want to get really, really aggressive. We have 2 Mataza the Zapper. This is pretty good with like Murasame Blade, because that means we can do 2100 twice. And so I figure there could be a spot for this card, and we only really need 1 of it because we could search it with Reinforcement of the Army. I wish it was Earth, so Warrior Lady of the Wasteland could get it as well, but we'll see. I have another Mystic Swords in level 2 if hitting John's defense monsters really does come up. Obnoxious Celtic Guard is a target to get off of Warrior Lady of the Wasteland, and if we're in a scenario where he has a bunch of 1900s, this could maybe wall up, but I'm not too optimistic. Another Warrior Returning Alive in case this card actually seems pretty good. 3 Magic Jammer. This could actually realistically come in because there's a lot of very good spells in John's deck. And 3 Royal Decree. We're not playing many traps, but John's traps aren't that scary, so I figured I'd have this in here just in case. But at the very least, I figured that it's definitely worth having in the side deck. Now, before we get into the match with John, of course, we have to spin the Wheel of Random Events. So this wheel has just been painful for me the last several episodes, and so I'm really hoping our luck can change at some point and we can get something good from one of these little wedges here. So let's see what we're working with. Cousin donated shoebox of cards. I get 2 core packs to potentially add to my deck. Finally!
What's good, Cimoooooooo's channel, and welcome to the deck list. This should be one of the greatest bouts in this entire series. Warrior versus Spellcaster, Goblin Attack Force versus my Skilled Dark Magician and Gemini Elves, Exiled Force, and meta cards from the past. I'm excited to play this one out. And the first cards in the deck, you might remember from a meta of the past, 3 Apprentice Magician. This did appear during GOAT format and onwards in combination with Magician of Faith to tutor it out, because the second effect allows you, if this card is destroyed by battle, to special summon a level 2 or lower Spellcaster monster from the deck and face down defense position. So that includes herself and Magician of Faith, but the first effect matters also. Wait, there's another effect, John? Yes, there is with this card. If this card is summoned, that includes flip summoned, target 1 face-up card on the field, and you can place a spell counter on, place the spell counter on it. And I've got a lot of cards that can use spell counters in here. Tsukiyomi, also a mainstay from GOAT format, being able to turn things face down, will really matter to be able to take out maybe walls Cimo leaves up in face-up attack mode, as well as Chaos Sorcerer, probably the MVP here. Almost everything in my deck besides Gemini Elf is a light or a dark to be able to banish from the graveyard to fuel this beast, which is at 3 in this format. Breaker the Magical Warrior, if I can be adding extra spell counters to this man's, that is great. Extra attack and back row removal, especially since Cimo has access to Royal Decree, which is why I'm lighter on the traps, but still playing some impactful ones. Mythical Beast Master Cerberus was kind of a fill in here in terms of monsters, because there's not the greatest amount of cards I could actually put in here that matter too much, but each time a spell card is activated, you place a spell counter on this when it resolves, and it gains 500 for each, but it loses them after the battle phase it battles, so it can become pretty big, but only for 1 battle. We've got 3 Royal Magical Library. It's a light with a good effect that allows me to draw, but it costs 3 spell counters, which is a lot. And then we have the Mighty Skilled Dark Magician. Each time a spell card's activated, you actually add a counter to this, and you contribute the card with 3 counters on it to special summon a Dark Magician from not just the hand, not just the deck, but also the graveyard, which is why I could not resist playing Yugi's Ace and 3 total cards. But there's another reason besides Skilled Dark Magician. You don't obviously want to be drawing this all the time, but there's a card where you actually want to draw it. 3 Gemini Elf for 1900 beat stick territory, which is super important in this matchup. Then we have 1 Heavy Storm, which will help me deal with Cimo's equip cards, 1 Lightning Vortex, which will help me deal with Cimo's monsters with equip cards, and then my own equip card into Mage Power in case we need to get into a highly competitive battle of equips. 3 Magical Dimension, this is my other ace in the hole. It is a quick play spell card that is so important in this kind of 1-2 matchup. If you control a Spellcaster monster, you can target 1 monster you control. Well, I only have Spellcaster, so it's still a Spellcaster going. Tribute that target. Then then special summon one Spellcaster monster from your hand, then you can destroy a monster on the field. So if Cimo tries to exile for something, I can actually make use and pop another one of Cimo's cards. Well, monsters in general, but it is super important to be able to have this card, and also for the battle phase, maybe attack for game. But the Mighty Dark Magician is coming out some way in this matchup, I hope. Mystical Space Typhoon, I'm able to destroy a spell or trap on the field. Shouldn't have to explain that card, but you know, some people tune in at any point during these. Nobleman of Crossout. We played the mind games with Cimo back and forth. In this matchup, I almost considered putting something else in it for the back row, like Pitch Black Power Stone, just because his deck should be highly aggressive and it feels a little bit win more, where I could have some different tricks with my cards. One Premature Burial, though, allows for recursion. One Swords of Revealing Light to be able to stave off his attacks while I set up if I need that tempo. One Call of the Haunted, more revival. One Divine Wrath. This is more so for things like Exiled Force or Marauding Captain that could really give Cimo some tempo. And Magic Cylinders, it's at 1 in the format, and also to show DZ why somebody would be playing it. For game, obviously. And then 3 Spell Shield Type 8. The first effect is very important in this matchup. When a spell card is activated that targets exactly one monster on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Well, that is every single equip spell for the free negation. Then in the side deck, we do have a Tricky Mystic Box. This allows you to target one monster your opponent controls and one you control. Destroy the first target, then give control of the second target to your opponent, and with Apprentice Magician, I don't mind giving them that monster all too often. This, again, allows me to accumulate spell counters, the Pitch Black Power Stone. I get 3 spell counters on it, and once per turn during my own turns, I can distribute a spell counter at a time, but it's very slow, and Cimo also has Rail Decree, so I'm a little bit scared to main deck that, and also more Divine Wraths in case I feel I need it, but I feel like it's a bit situational. 3 Nightmare Steel Cage, honestly thinking about maining it, depending on how I see Cimo's cards play out, so that I can, you know, see behind my own wall and take tempo. And then there is the 1 Tribute Chaos Command Magician. It might be better to play than the Dark Magician for this matchup, but I'm a fan of playing the Mighty Dark Magician if I'm bringing it on out. This also cannot be hit by Exiled Force, though. Negate the effect of a monster card that targets this one card. And finally, there just wasn't many good cards to end up putting in the side deck, so I put Dark Eradicator Warlock for fun, you know, the whole picture of the structure deck, but I don't think I'll be playing it. Now let's go ahead and spin that wheel and see what's happening to my deck. I cannot wait to see what's going to change, and I hope it's a good one for once. The wheel keeps taking away from me, and I want to see something nice right here. Yep. The same as last time. Replace a random card. So I've got 40 cards in my main deck. Let's see which one I'm losing and replacing with a side deck card. And we are losing card number 26. So that would be, oh, my Field Clearer. That's so important in this matchup. That's actually nuts. That really hurts. I think I will put in 1 more Tribute as well as a card that would give really good field presence with Magical Dimension. Can't be Exiled Forced. Can't be hit by Goblin Attack Force, but that really stinks.
So, the most recent core set to come out right before the release of the Warriors Triumph structure deck was Cybernetic Revolution, as a matter of fact, and that's pretty exciting because we might be able to nab ourselves a Cyber Dragon here. It's pretty difficult because it's a super rare and we only get 2 packs, but let's see what we get in pack number 1. System Down's cool, but I don't think it's going to be useful against a Spellcaster focused deck. Drillroid is actually not a bad card for hitting through defensive threats. We do have several cards that do that already, but that's still a definitely playable card. And then let's go ahead and move on to pack number 2. Oh my god, if we got a Cyber Dragon, John would shit. Okay, let's flip him up and see. Oh my god! There it is, the Cyber Dragon! Okay, we have to go throw this in because otherwise, I don't know what we're doing. Okay, so Cyber Dragon has to go in 100%. I don't know exactly what we want to take out here. I guess I'm going to move Mystic Swordsman level 4 to the side deck. I think 2 is just better, and I don't think we're ever going to be leveling it up. Aside from that, I don't think we really need much else. The Drillroids kind of get superseded by stuff like Sasuke and Mystic Swordsman level 2, although to be fair, Drillroid kind of does what these cards do, 2. I guess I could maybe cut 1 Mystic Swordsman level 2. It stops the flip effects, though, so I don't know. I guess I'll cut 1 for a Drillroid, because we can search the Mystic Swordsman level 2, and that way we have a stronger body that still does something similar. I kind of just want to give it a shot, to be honest. So, guys, that is going to do it for our deck. We're going to go ahead and lock it in. I can't wait to see John's face if we summon the Cyber Dragon. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to duel. John, I'm so excited. You know that warriors are like one of my favorite, just like old school classic deck / archetypes. And I know you love spellcasters, so I think this is a very nostalgic episode for both of us.
It is funny that I get your favorite card Breaker on over in my deck, but Warriors was one of your first decks.
Don't remind me, buddy. Don't remind me. There was a chance technically on the wheel for me to steal it, but I will say that I did not get that lucky, unfortunately.
The wheel's been pretty good to me overall. But I will say that sometimes it hurts, sometimes it gives. You got Royal Decree, a tournament pack ultra rare at 3 over here, which made me really think about how I approach traps in this matchup.
Yeah, I would say our decks have some interesting tricks. I'd say being the Magician deck, yours has probably more tricks than mine. Mine's more sort of go face, hit hard sort of deck. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. I'm ready, though, if you are, buddy.
On paper, this is the best matchup we should have. So
I think so. I think it's pretty evenly split. And let's go ahead and see how that plays out then. Let's shout the patron. It is Gradora. Thank you for the support. Losing the rock, paper, scissors. Why you do this to me, buddy?
The regional rock, paper, scissor champion.
I know. I have won like 1 or 2 of these so far. It's just, I can't win it. But draw your card, Duelist. Right. Best of luck. Can't wait to see how it goes.
It's not the best. It's not the worst. I will go ahead and throw down 1 face down.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and set a Speller Trap. The classic T-set.
Classic T-set. Oh. All right, we're gonna go to main phase 1. This is a interesting way to start things off. I didn't think we were gonna be doing this soon, but you know what? I am very excited to see what happens. Okay, so buddy, this is gonna reveal my wheel spin, because I was gifted some packs because my cousin gave me his shoebox full of cards.
The mythical shoebox of cards.
And in it was actually a gem, which we sometimes find in those shoeboxes, because I am going to start by running out Cyber Dragon!
Oh my gosh! Must be nice.
Talk about the meta breaker, right? This is pretty good.
Yeah. That's problem.
Yeah, this is going to be a good way to kick things off. The question is, what do I want to follow it up with? And I have a few options here. I'm going to go ahead, though, and run out Warrior Lady of the Wasteland.
All
and
right.
let's go to battle. Let's hit with the Cyber Dragon.
Well, I did have 2,000 defense.
It didn't matter in the face of my 2,100 Cyber Dragon. We'll hit with the Warrior Lady.
Oh, this is not good.
And
this is not
we'll
good.
just go ahead and set a card, throw it over to you, buddy. Have fun. Thank you, cousin. I appreciate the side draw.
Well, it doesn't get much better for me, so I'll go ahead and set my newly drawn card and pass.
Okay, we'll go ahead and draw. I think I'm going to go into main phase 1 here and take the opportunity to fire off Reinforcement of the Army.
Oh, man.
And let's go ahead and grab the Exiled Force.
Yep.
I don't really want to deal with this, so we're going to run out the Exiled Force, tribute it, and destroy your set.
That was a Apprentice Magician, which would have fully protected me as well.
Let's go to battle. Let's start with the Warrior Lady.
I'll take 1,100.
And can we try for 21?
21's good.
Not bad. I'll go ahead and pass the turn, buddy. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I really don't want to deal with your face down if I'm committing hard to the field.
Ooh, interesting. That is going to be fine. It was my Blast with Chain, which is cool because I could have actually triggered the effect, but you're nuking your board, so for all the good that would have done.
Yep. And now I'll go ahead and I will banish a light and banish a dark from my graveyard.
Chaos Sork.
For the mighty Chaos Sork.
This card is so good. Okay, sure.
I can't believe it wasn't limited.
Right? I know. The fact you get 3 of this is nuts.
I'm going to go ahead and... that's kind of rough. I don't want you to have an answer in the following turns. But I'll go ahead and... What can Warrior of the Wasteland actually get in your deck? I feel like You have Marauding Captain and what else? Obnoxious Celtic Guardian, maybe?
Well, she can't get herself, so there's at least that.
Obnoxious Celtic Guardian can be dealt with by Chaos Sorcerer too. So I'll go ahead and summon Skilled Dark Magician.
Ooh.
And in battle, we'll go ahead and see what you're grabbing.
Okay, so I'm going to take 800 from this. We'll trigger the Wasteland Warrior Lady's effect, and I think I'm just going to grab another copy. Unfortunately, it has to go into attack position.
I'll go ahead and attack the Cyber Dragon and take care of a power card on the
Okay, so 200 to me. The Cyber Dragon falls.
And then in main phase 2, I'll follow up with another set card and pass.
Okay, not looking too good. I'll draw. That's okay, I guess. We'll go into main phase 1 here, though. Question is, how do we want to deal with the board at hand? I think it's going to start by activating the Warrior Returning Alive.
But wait, I get a spell.
You do get a spell counter. I will target my Exiled Force. Is that fine?
That is fine.
Okay, let's go ahead and grab him. And then, shocker here, I'm going to go ahead and normal summon the Exiled Force. And
would you like to activate priority with that effect?
I would, actually. I would like to try to take out the Chaos Sword.
That is fine.
I'm going to go ahead and switch the Warrior Lady of the Wasteland to defense. And I think I'm actually just feeling pretty okay at this board. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I will go to main phase 1. You have quite the graveyard already.
Few cards.
And we'll let you go ahead and get yourself to that obnoxious Celtic Guardian or wherever you're going.
We are going to be going to a third Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. She's not done yet.
All right. Hey, she just got a retrain recently.
Yeah,
in the OCG.
she did.
We'll go ahead and pass.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. Ooh, okay. That's not too bad, actually. Okay, I am going to go ahead and fire Giant Trunade.
Ooh, that is good.
That will give you a spell counter, and similar to you, I want to at least have the board clear a bit before I commit so heavily in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and run out Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke.
That's pretty good. Got an equip spell
I
with
do. It is my Fusion Sword Murasame Blade, and we're going to give it to the Sasuke to get his attack to 2,600.
My third counter will not be doing it.
It's cool you got the 3 counters, but unfortunately we're going to take him down before it's relevant. So
all right.
That is 700 damage to you, I believe.
Yep.
And then another 11 from the Warrior Lady. And most of my cards are on the table, buddy. I'll throw it to you.
All right, I need a nice top deck here, and that's not terrible, but not ideal either. I'll go ahead and reset my face down here,
Okay.
make you at least a little worried, and I will summon myself the Gemini Elf.
Okay.
And I actually have to pass here.
Okay. We'll go ahead and draw then. That's pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and space the back row.
Well, no getting use out of that.
All right.
It would have been nice to have that for your equip
That
spell.
is why I trunated first. And let's see what we can do. I'll go to battle. This will be 7. You're going to be on 100 life points. This is miserable.
Well, what you actually could have done is just game me there. If you have Obnoxious Celtic Guardian.
I
or
could
even
have.
Marauding, I believe. Yeah, you could have rammed the warrior and gotten a bigger attack.
That may be telling that I don't or do have certain cards in my deck. I'll pass the turn.
She's only for Exiled Force. Unfortunately, I did not get to a summonable monster here for the strategy that I put in.
Okay, we'll try to deliver the final blow of game 1.
And she's going to get in there.
Wow, okay. That was actually not bad. I can't wait to see how this one plays out. This is fun.
That was unfortunate, the clumping that happened to my hand, but I trust in the dueling book algorithm. Let's go into another game here.
Maybe that's your first mistake, buddy.
Well,
is
the
trusting
second mistake was
dueling
not
book
having a
algorithm.
Cyber Dragon in a structure deck battle, okay?
Fair.
All right, I will go ahead and normal summon the Mighty Skilled Dark Magician.
He has
I
returned.
will also activate Yugi's Mighty Swords of Revealing Light.
Ooh,
Put it
okay.
in
That gives him a spell counter.
And then I will set 1 card and pass it on over to you.
All right, sure. I'll go ahead and draw. I'm going to go into the main phase 1 here, and I really don't want you doing too much with that skilled Dark Magician. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Reinforcement of the Army.
Alrighty, that'll give it a spell counter, but I'm guessing Exiled Force is making another star-studded
I
appearance.
was about to say, this play looks a bit familiar. We'll run out the Exiled Force.
Alright.
And let's sack him off to kill the skilled Dark. I will set a back row of my own, and I think I will pass the turn.
Okay. So that's 1 turn of swords gone. We'll go ahead and get into main phase 1, and I'll summon somebody who just got her Lart in the TCG.
Right, Gemini Elf. Okay,
And
sure.
we will make her, we'll say, gigantic here.
Oh, God. Yeah, so she's now 3,400, I believe.
Yep, and we'll go into that battle phase and go in for an attack.
All right, I'll take that. You know, times I wish I wouldn't have used that Exiled Force, but it is what it is.
Here and activate my Call of the Haunted in the battle phase.
Ooh, sure,
And the
that's
skilled
fine.
Dark Magician is coming back. I was torn between giving him another counter or if you had Sakuretsu and that sort of stuff to burn your resources, but we'll attack for 19.
That's 19 to the dome.
And now you have to be more careful with your spell and traps. Your move.
I do. I will draw. Go into main 1 here. This is going to be quite tricky to navigate here. I think I may have to get a bit aggressive as well. So I'm going to start by firing good old Reinforcement from the Army number 2.
All right.
And with it, so with the Rhoda, I'm going to go ahead and grab, I think the call is good old Goblin Attack Force.
He's beefy.
He is. This is where Giant Truenade's going to come down here.
All
it's
right.
not ideal,
But it does actually remove my spell counter.
It does. It does give you the Call the Haunted back,
And a full
though, which
power
I'm not
swords.
super excited about it. Yeah. So Trunade is going to go to the graveyard, and then I think we're going to go ahead and run out Cyber Dragon.
Oh my gosh.
He's here again, buddy. He's here again. And I think with it, I'm also going to go ahead and run out this copy of Command Knight.
Ah.
So let's go to battle. Let's go ahead and hit with the Sidra.
So that's going to be 200. And we know you have a Goblin Attack Force on top. Now this boosts itself by 400 along with all warrior monsters you control.
Correct. So she is 1,600 presently. And the second main, I'm going to reset the card that was on the field, and I'll pass it over to you.
All right. Well, as with the Magician deck you noted, I do have quite a few tricks up my sleeve. The question is, how do I want to use them? I'm going to go ahead and summon my one of Tsukiyomi.
Ooh,
and
okay.
flip that Command Knight down.
She is down.
I will then use my Mystic Box targeting your Cyber Dragon.
Right. I love the synergy with Mystic Box and Tsukiyomi. So I'm going to lose the Sidra, and I get possession of the Tsukiyomi.
Just for a little bit.
Just for a little bit, till it goes back to your hand. And as soon as Dueling Book allows me to send it to the graveyard, I will let Mystic Box resolve. Continue.
I will then go ahead, knowing you have that Goblin Attack Force, etc. Activate the Swords of Revealing Light to flip that back
This
up.
is what I wasn't super thrilled about with having to Trunade with swords almost on 2 turns.
And then I will set my 2 cards back and pass to you, getting my Tsukiyomi back.
Correct. Tsukiyomi will return to your hand. And I will draw for turn. Let's see if we can make something happen. So now I have to think. I know you have Mage Power. I know you have Call of the Haunted. That's a bit scary because you're going to be able to do some pretty big damage with that potentially. So what I think I'm going to do is... I feel like I need to do something here. So I'm going to go ahead and set one. And I'm going to throw it over to you.
All right, in the end phase, I'll go ahead and Call the Haunted, targeting the skilled Dark Magician.
That's fine.
All right, when the student becomes mightier than the master here, perhaps. Oh! So here's an interaction not a lot of people remember, because everybody always used this card just for Magician of Faith. I'll normal summon Apprentice Magician, using it to give a counter
Give
to
the
my
spell
skilled
counter.
Dark
Hell
Magician.
yeah.
All right, and then... instead of fully committing here, let me think. You have a face down? What could that be? Obviously, that could be a Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. That could be many different things. I think we're just going to chill. That 1900 defense isn't easy to overcome.
Right, it does check your big monsters pretty easily.
All right, we'll go ahead and attack the face down.
It was a Drillroid.
Ah.
Another special of Cybernetic Horizon, or Cybernetic Revolution, excuse me.
I will go ahead, and we're already through one turn of swords, pass to you. So this will be turn two.
Turn 2, correct. I will go ahead and draw. It's getting a bit dicey here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set another monster, and I'm going to pass the turn. That was turn 2 on swords.
Indeed. All right, well, in the standby phase, main phase 1, I'll go ahead and use Mystical Space Typhoon on your face down.
Ooh, interesting. I am actually going to chain it. It is Blast with Chain. So I'm going to equip it to my Command Knight, and then Blast with Chain will get destroyed on the resolution of the chain, triggering its second effect to target a card on the field and destroy it. I think I'm going to get rid of your Skill Dark Magician, buddy.
Unfortunate. The blind MST backfiring. Who'd have imagined? Well, that's quite unfortunate. You know what's funny, though? Apprentice Magician is if the card's summoned, period. So let's not waste the turn and actually flip this face down so that if I get something with a spell counter, say Breaker, it could be even more impactful.
Sure, understandable. I'll go ahead and draw, and I think I'm actually just going to throw it back to you, let the swords elapse, and let's see what you can do.
All right. Well, nice dueling book RNG throughout these duels. I'll go ahead and throw down a face down and pass to you.
Ooh, okay. Tides might be turning here. I'll go ahead and draw. Let's go into main phase 1. I know you have an Apprentice Magician set. The question is, what do we want to do about it? I'm going to go ahead and run out Giant Trunade once more.
Ooh, that does hurt. I'll go ahead and allow it.
Okay. Next up, I'm going to switch my Command Knight to attack position, and I'm also going to flip summon the DD Warrior Lady. Then I'm also going to run out Obnoxious Celtic Guard.
Nice little combo there.
It's not bad. It's pretty good. I will go to battle phase. I think I'm going to attack with the Warrior Lady here.
All right. Would you like to remove?
I believe I'm going to, because I don't really want you getting the value off Apprentice Magician.
All right.
So yeah, let's go ahead and banish them, and then I'm going to hit you for 16 and 18 here.
Beefy.
And I think that's just going to end it for me. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. Well, I will draw, and I will go ahead to the main phase 1. And I know you still have that Goblin attack force lurking.
It's been lingering.
Yeah.
So now you've got 2 back row, a Tsukiyomi, and the other 2 cards are unknowns.
I think I have to set and pass.
And here comes the back row. All right, I'll go ahead and draw. Let's go to main phase 1 here. How do we want to do this? I imagine you could have set the Sook here, because if you did, you can forcibly set one of my monsters. I believe Sook has 1400 defense, if my memory serves correctly. I am going to run out Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. Let's go ahead and go to battle. Other considerations, it could potentially be a Royal Magical Library, so I guess I should hit with the Sasuke in case that's the case.
All right. Well, it is the Tsukiyomi, and we'll flip down the Command Knight, shutting off the power-ups.
Sure. And then I'll hit with Obnoxious Celtic Guard for 14. Second main, I will re-flip the Command Knight, and I will pass on that, buddy.
All right. Well, still not in the best of positions here.
I'm still scared of your back row.
Unfortunately, you're gonna take this game here. I'm not gonna put up a front.
Really?
Yeah. There's not much I can do here. So here's what I do have left after. We'll play it out and then show you what we do have. But it's just an unfortunate situation of how my deck's back row system was set up.
Sure. I don't think I want to overcommit on this board, so I'm just going to hit.
Yep, there goes the Royal Magic Library.
And then this will be for lethal,
Lethal is good. So my back row, and same in the first game, is just a bunch of these for your equips that didn't play a part in this duel.
I'm not gonna lie, I was scared of just summoning this under Command Knight and getting magic cylindered for exact lethal.
I did play the 1-up, so
I figured.
I had Chaos Command Magician stuck in the hand here this time, along with the Mage Power still. So when the choice was Royal Magic Library or Sook, we know you have the Goblin, so it could end up taking that out. But your Ninja is still boosted by the Command Knight too, to where it would just even run over the Royal Magic Library by battle without effect.
Yeah, reasonably, you only needed one monster to just equip Mage Power onto, because currently I don't have a way to like deal with a monster that's just bigger than my monster.
The card I was really hoping to have a huge impact here in this duel was Magical Dimension. It should just be a tide turner that also anytime you get equips is able to like take care of problem cards, but it just never showed itself. Instead, duels 1 and 2, I saw a bunch of Spell Shield type 8s.
It's a huge tempo turn just in theory, right? Because you get to get a big guy onto the field, and then you get to pop one of my guys as well. And it's like, so in the instance, like right here, if you had this Chaos Command Magician in your hand and you had the library set, you could have just Magical Dimension into Chaos Command, pop my Command Knight or my Obnoxious Celtic Guard, whichever you prefer, and just hit the other one. And then just like that, I'm going to be completely behind on tempo at that point.
Yeah,
so
I think that if we played 100 games out with this matchup, it's probably the most fun matchup from the early part of the series, though.
I think so. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of like just little interactions between these two decks. They don't seem like overtly overpowered either, right? Like there are some good staples that both decks have, but there's nothing like that's just crazy broken.
Now the wheel did crush me a little in this matchup. I lost Lightning Vortex.
Ooh,
that was pretty bad.
That's rough. Did you get the one where you had to randomly pick, or was it like you had to pick something?
26 cards.
Wow, and it was Lightning Vortex.
Number 26 out of 40. There it went.
Wow. I mean, I have to attribute part of this victory to the Cyber Dragon, of course.
Part! You mean all of game 1.
I need to send my cousin the check in the mail for this one, because that was all of game 1 essentially. I was playing the those are the only 2 cards from Cybernetic Revolution I played. I figured Droroid's kind of like a slightly better Mystic Swordsman level 2 for some purposes, especially because you have like library and stuff. I figured, let's give it a shot. I can just search Mystic Swordsman level 2 if I need to with the Rotas. So yeah, I mean, in the end, I think that this was, like I said, like you said, I think this is a matchup that you could just play just over and over again, because it just feels really balanced, right? Like this feels something that you and a friend would have just done on an afternoon after school.
And the classic Spellcaster versus Warrior, the typing in old video games. It's so fun.
Exactly. Too. Right. It's just 2 of the most popular iconic typings in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, of course, like Yugi with Spellcasters, Joey with Warriors. That's really kind of what it feels like. You know, it has that sort of like friendship aspect to it. And so that's all the series is about, right, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Besides beating you down on the next episode.
Oh, okay. Well, next episode, the fans are going to get to look forward to is Wind versus Earth. So talk about some of the, more infamous decks for not being the most exciting.
I think DZ has a series where these are the 2 worst structure decks out of them. So we went from the best of the best to, well, at least it's interesting in a sealed format.
I was about to say, it'll be interesting in sealed, but that may be a bit of a stretch. We'll have to see how it plays out. Let's hold our breath and hope that it is the case. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Sealed Saturdays. We really hope you guys enjoyed. Let's shout out the patrons. As always, Shadow1317, Moto, Cameron Smith, Chaotic Meatball, Tim00x3, Aka, Iron Fang, Part 2, Pony Starkey, and Musa, Dan the Man Hoban, Synchro Guy, Ole, Mystic Walk, Sylvia Wild, Draconic, Useless Fast05, Colt T, Rockslide, Dolly Up, Logan Thomas, Peter Gregory, Thomas Selson, Jordan Coons, Calvin, Iron Bladesman, Pure Ace, Jesse Wood, True Nerdgasm, Brother Paul, Chris Hood, Nehru Celeste, David Lee, Rockley325, Chat God, Sound Agent 216, Skyrose, Dylan Hunter, John 2 Base, Brody, Eastwood, Day Sir, Elias Panero, Carlos CT, Flannel Daddy, Give Me Speedroid or Give Me Death, Ashlyn Jensen, TC Gaming, thanks for the sleeves, Dad, Hots for Gage, Matthew Brady, Dr. Solace, Max, Tom Russell, Gage Just Play Watts Already, Chipotle Rice, Eric Grems, Wayan, and Talk Dirty to Me MBT. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.